Good morning, everybody. Hope you're well. So, this is a message for anybody who lives on from Virginia to the East Coast on the Atlantic shoreline of the United States. You have a major predisposition and responsibility for your well being and health now. Due to a lot of corporate contracts and backdoor funding, there's been illegal dumping and a lot of toxic overhaul or released to the public right now in the water supply and the air and in different means. Now, if you live on the East Coast, you have a high sustainability for those who live in Delaware of having leukemia within 20 years. And this is not something based off of research. This is something that was instructed to be by my doctor, Zabid Saeed, at Nemours when I was a child, or at least a young teen, actually. Not a child per se, but a young teenager, when I was living in Delaware. He said, you're susceptible to having leukemia and other nervous systems disorders by the time you're 40. I'm like, why? He's like, do you use the tap water and drink it? I'm like, no. It's like, do you cook with your tap water? I'm like, yeah, I mean, for spaghetti and stuff. He's like, well, then you have a high susceptibility to leukemia and other blood cancers here in the next 20 years. Anybody who lives in the Delmarva area, Mr. Barlow, has a high susceptibility to that. And if you go crabbing or fishing out here in the Chesapeake or Atlantic Ocean or Delaware Bay, you have an even higher susceptibility of eating that food to getting these cancers in the next 15 to 20 years. Because of the illegal dumping done by a lot of the corporations in Philadelphia, which I'm not going to name because of legal issues and legal matters. But due to this situation, your predisposition to a lot of autoimmune and nervous system issues that are going to happen within 5 or 10 years of you utilizing the tap water in the Delmarva area and East Coast, not to mention parts of other water treatment centers off the coastline, are not filtering certain byproducts that are coming through that are just as harmful as the chemicals they're using to treat it. Now, for the West Coast, for example, like here in Colorado, if you live here, you have a high possibility of Parkinson's disease. And Parkinson's can kill you too, because when it weakens the nervous system like that, it can cause heart failure and heart damage and cardiovascular damage. So you're looking at a lot of cardiovascular issues, respiratory issues, and nervous system issues if you live out west. If you live out east, you have a higher affinity of gaining cancer due to the amount of contamination that took place there, especially during the Industrial Revolution, not just during this time now with corporate contracts. So because of that, it's our responsibility to combat the invisible warfare being brought on us intentionally or unintentionally, by us really implementing, what JJ Medicinals is all about in the ideals: regeneration and deflection. Regeneration of the body by utilizing more organic and natural elements, holistics, herbals, fungi, and minerals, and vitamins, while the deflection focuses on deflecting the negative frequencies or negative interferences that are causing damage, such as radio waves, which causes damage to your cells, while electromagnetic frequencies, EMF waves, cause damage to your nerves and your electrical frequency in your nervous system. So if you live near a military base, an airport, within about 3 to 5 miles of it, you're very susceptible to cancers and nervous systems disorders by a 24% increase than other people. Personally, I feel that people that live near airports or live near hospitals or live near these facilities that use high amounts of radio waves and radiation and EMF frequencies because of the machinery they need for their technology, including military bases, those people that live in residential areas up to 2 miles from any of those should actually receive a payment from the state or the government every year to make up for the damages being caused to them on their health. They'll never admit to the damages because you can't really even prove it, but it's factual that it's causing it. It's not factual that you can prove it, so therefore you couldn't get a settlement. But I feel just to right 2 wrongs here, they should actually compensate people for the damages they're causing their families and their children and stuff by them deciding to live there. And that's the problem, is they said, well, since they decided to live there, it's their personal decision. We're not liable to any health issues that's going to happen to them because they should know better than to live that close to a hospital or this. And I'm like, well, people don't know better. They don't educate you about it. They're not going to tell you about it because they don't want to be held liable by having to pay you for that, whether it's through a settlement or through a compensation by yearly payment, just like Alaska does for you living there by them giving you a check every year. So at the end of the day, like, if you're living in that area, even near 5G towers, you're susceptible to more damage than other people that live out in the country. So you have to implement a lot more health tactics and care tactics. Now, I don't have time to cover in this video our deflection systems and ways of you deflecting satellite imagery, satellite communications, radio, and EMF communications, but I will be sharing that eventually soon. That way you can put your house on deflection and recovery, so your house will actually heal you and actually regenerate itself to prevent mold. And there's a new HVAC system that I created that also cuts electrical costs by 40 to 50% and would replace the solar panels in the country, because there wouldn't be no need for them, so there would be less waste issues. So I have a lot of things, I have a lot of prototypes, I have a lot of people working with me in contract, but not a lot of things I can talk about, other than there's different things that are allowed to the public at this time that I can teach you about in separate videos for the deflection. Now for the regeneration, you have AI and Google at your disposal. You don't need just me or other holistic practitioners to tell you, or let alone a doctor to tell you that, hey, that's bad for you, hey, this has been found, hey, this is what you should probably take for these ailments. There's a lot of things that you could find using AI, even though I don't like it, that can benefit you for self-care by you educating yourself. You can always ask questions, and I'm here. If you have any questions or free opinions, please leave them, or please message me if you have questions in regards to, you know, the healing rates, how to work on these things. I don't mind talking directly either, as long as I can make the time and you can be direct about your questioning. That being said, it is fundamentally our responsibility, even though it's their fault. Because even though we weren't aware of it, we now being made aware of it and being brought to light, instead of us being in denial or remission about the truth of the situation, it would be our responsibility to take that knowledge and put it to use. If you can't control the way they're handling things, and you can't change the outcome because you have no right to affect free will, then you should affect your free will by implementing the things that are actually going to prevent these damages caused by your government or military or what have you, or corporate standing, or the big brother, whatever you want to call it. But it's our responsibility, and by us implementing this for our own well-being, we can also implement the well-being for our children, so that way they have not only a longer life expectancy because we put these things in our home and we put these things in our mind, but also because we can actually educate them to sustain and regenerate the earth and our life and well-being to live longer. I mean, the religious text said we lived hundreds of years old, and why are we dying before we're 150? You gotta understand the bigger picture here, and that there's ways for us to go back and recycle it. The damage can always be fixed, because it's never too late until it's too late. So don't let it be too late. For you, or for the world. Okay? Have a beautiful day.